I was appointed to St. Paul March of 1994. I came from the Tennessee conference to the Kentucky conference right after the winter storm that had engulfed the area. And upon arriving at St. Paul, I found that we had some damage because of the ice storm. And it was a trying time during that time for a little while. But as the weather changed, things were better. And while at St. Paul, I was there for 3 years, from March of 1994 to March of 1997. And I was assigned to a church in Shelbyville, Kentucky. But while I pastored St. Paul, we was able to purchase the business complex next door to St. Paul, which gave us a little more freedom of parking space. We was able to obtain and cover all the stained glass windows with shield to protect them from the winter. And we had an organization with the young people called Teen Tutoring Team, and they were paid a little stipend from the city for doing this, and they enjoyed doing that. I was pastor St. Paul. A young man was shot and killed in the West End, and we had to patrol the streets to calm the young people down so that they wouldn't be violent in responding that the police had shot this young man. And it lasted for several weeks, but eventually things calmed down for a little while. I'll always remember that event and spending many nights in the streets there at St. Paul. And also many nights patrolling the youth club, nightclub that they had there at St. Paul. I visited them and found out that many youths were there because they felt they had nowhere else to go and do things. And so we was able to try to form some type of organization so that we can give our youth an opportunity. And we supported the youth activity that they had going on during that time. I can't think of the gentleman's name, but it headed the organization that was over near the Baptist church, behind the Baptist church. Because of such a gentry working and obtained a grant for us to cover all the stained glass windows at St. Paul, we were able to do that within that time because I understand that she had been working on it for many years, and finally, during my administration, we was able to cover all of the stained glass windows so they can be protected. So one thing that was amazing about St. Paul, especially among the senior members, whenever one of the senior members died, they always left a gift to the church. And while under my administration, we received several gifts and property from senior members that died during my administration, which was a great tradition and blessing to show how the senior members loved their church. And I hope that that tradition is still going on amongst the members of St. Paul. One thing about AME, we are like family, like real family members of each other. We look out for each other, we take care of each other, and we love one another as Christ said we love one another. And I found that to be true at St. Paul, especially amongst the senior members. They loved their pastor, regardless who their pastor were. They always supported their pastor and loved their pastor at the time that the pastor was present during their ministration. And that is something that is very significant among that. And not only that, we are assigned by bishops at their beckon. We are assigned to a church, and we are reappointed or appointed to another charge, all because of the bishop. And I've been a member of the AME Church all of my life. I was born into the AME Church in Tennessee. My parents was a member of the AME Church in a little small community called Oakwood, Tennessee. But I pastored several churches in Tennessee, and several churches in Kentucky. And I'm now currently retired, been retired for many years. And the Lord is still blessing me and taking care of me. Church has really changed, especially since we are experiencing this coronavirus. And now everything is done online and video more so than in person. And even though we are doing this online, we're gonna have to do more things by video and visiting by video. And I don't know how that's gonna work out because I'm from the old school, because I love visiting the members and communicating with in person. And I have not had a chance to experience this new move, so we have to wait and see. And may God continue to bless us that we may grow in the spirit of his love.